right, calligraphy class. Today we're going to finish talking about flourishes, which we started before. This is one that I'm going to be doing in the class. I started doing some of the shadows in the bottom, but I want you to complete an entire sentence and add flourishes. Now I've only got 4 words, so you don't have to have a long sentence. So I can't wait to see what you're doing with your flourishes. Calligraphy class. Here we go again. I know we worked on some projects where we did some flourishing right as you ended class. So we really didn't talk about it too much in class. And this was the one I was working with. And all I have is the copy because the page is in the notebook up at school. So all I have is this copy, and I just want to show you guys my work. I want you to see that this is not perfect, right? You can go through all of these and see where it went, kind of jig-jag right there, or, there's, if you look at it closely, oh my goodness, look at this one. You're going to see those. And so this was a flourish that I was working on to show you guys, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about using the finials, these little tips on the ends, how you can do something at the beginning. This is how I did it. I come in and I write love is patient, love is kind, right? And then you can tell. See where the P, where I made the P to begin with? There is where it ended, right? And this is where it ended because I didn't connect it absolutely perfectly. That doesn't bother me. I can always go back and do a little bit of touch up. And so I started with this L way out here and then ended it somewhere in here. And then OVE, and I didn't even get the highlight in the E. So that E needs to be larger so that it has a highlight. I can always go back and put a little, I like to put gel pen in when I make a mess like that. But then I came in and did this part and see where I didn't connect it. So I can come back in and make that a little bit thicker, just like it was a calligraphy. And then just have it end and just barely touching the paper so that I can fix any of those little boo-boos that where they just don't go together. Now this once again is the paper from my sketchbook. So you can tell where I've torn it out. And this these are the pens that we have, the Pentel Touch pens. And this pen, when you go over something a couple times, it roughs up the surface of the paper. So I didn't want to do that one so much. Anyway, it just kind of makes me sad when you spend time on something and then it's messed up. So, but like this S is not round enough for me. So it's got a little bump. We can come back in and fill those in. Anywhere you see the little bumps or wiggles or whatever, just come back in, softly fix those. Take your time. My thing at school says, take your sweet time. Now, I used the gray that's in the Tombow set, which is like a really, really pale gray color. And I don't know if you can see these marks here of the gray. So I thought I would show you one more time. It's the same thing that we've been working on. You're going to come in and put in your cast shadow of the letter. Well, this is a lot darker gray. And and it fans off as it goes up into a piece here. So this one would come through this little part of the D of kind, and then it would just come down the D of kind. I used to love these little Fudnosukis for doing all the calligraphy and stuff, but I've gotten so used to those big ones now that it's kind of hard to go back to the smaller ones. So I'm just going to put these in, let it fade to a point. This one's going to have a little ball on the end, and then skinny, like this. Just keep going, fill up your whole sentence. This particular project is to do flourishes. So I want to see that y'all are doing those flourishes, and that you can master those. They are so fun whenever you get to where you're just kind of having fun with and see this one right here, I messed up, so it ended up being too thick, but I can just come in and make the top part darker and connect it in, but I think it's a lot of fun myself. So whoops. You try to go too long and curving your hand instead of turning the paper or moving your hand down. That's when you usually get the little bumps. There should be one right there. And this should probably come all the way up. Okay, well, I know y'all don't want to just sit here and watch me do all these little shadows, but they're so fun. And they make the piece just look amazing. I wish it was a little bit lighter than this particular gray, but it is what it is. And I hope you have fun with yours. There isn't any reason you can't do this shadow in a different color, so whatever colors you have, use those. And do an entire sentence with flourishes. This particular project is all about doing the flourishes. So if you're going to, like if you were doing the love, right, and that's just plain, then you can come in and make the thick part. I should be doing this with one of those tombos, being so large. But this particular flourish can come out and just be free with it, right? Don't set your hand down, or you're going to it's going to cause those things to happen. And if you're going to make each one of the circle parts thicker, then you can just come back, make them thicker, take your time, and connect it back together. in doing your flourishes and stuff. So we talked about flourishes. I did some in class. Y'all have the homework piece where it does this, which is kind of a fun little flourish to do. And so feel free to do that as well. I have one that has this particular flourish in it in one of my books, but I don't have it in here right this minute to show it to you. So, but do your words, add your flourishes, right? And then do your cast shadow. All right? That's your next project. I cannot wait to see what you guys are doing. Please send me pictures. It's kind of like what gets me excited about teaching is I want to see what you guys are doing. All right. Thanks a lot.